Hello, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I saw a friend today. I haven't seen her in a while. She was like a good Samaritan today. Could you imagine? I'm not gonna go through the full details, but I was at the register. I was putting in a card. Maybe I don't have enough because I got Walmart picking up stuff. Maybe I was over the amount I was picking up. And she came by and she said, I haven't seen you so long. I said, me there. She said, I know you were sick and I didn't come look for you. And I feel so bad. It's okay. So I said, it's all right. She gave me a hug. My girl. I'm so grateful. She said, how much is it? It was over $100. It was under two. It was one less than 200. She said, don't worry, I got you. I said, you sure? She said, yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. I feel so bad I didn't even come visit you and you was going through all this stuff all this time. Thank you, Lord. And my driver, when I went to do a test, I went to see the breast doctor. So she was just feeling and feeling and feeling. Okay, I don't feel nothing. So when she tell me to come back, so after my appointment, oh, God. She want me to come back again. These two appointments is for next year. Could you get appointments like this in your state or in your country? One appointment is for February 2024 for 6 months. Check up on another one as well. Is that 24? April. Oh yeah, April 24, 2024. I don't know if I'm gonna be here for April, but child, this is how it go here in America. You could get your appointments as long as they have it available. They book it. With the amount of people they have to see, they book the appointments out, even though you reach to that year yet. So one for February and one for. I can't call in those yet, so I'm gonna stick that paper up somewhere so I can remember. Well, I'm gonna type it in my phone, in my calendar. Yep. And the driver, he came. Because when I make appointments, I usually take not an Uber, it's like a veil. So if you live here in America and you don't drive, there's a thing called veil you could use. You could call them. There's two ways you could use veil. The first way is if you have somebody who could give you the ride, then you could get reimbursed. That person could get reimbursed for taking you to the rider. However, this is a free trip, but it's not really free. It's covered through the insurance. But I think they still get paid, whatever. So it's like the driver, they still get paid, but you don't have to actually pay them cash. I don't know exactly how it works, but so that's the first way. You could have somebody who have a car give you a ride. I forget the word they use, and the person could get reimbursed for the payment for taking you to the doctor. Or the second way is you could call Vail, and book the rides. Then they have different companies here in the neighborhoods. Not here, some of them is in Stanford, and whoever they send out the appointment, whoever they send out the stuff to, the first person who grab it, that will be a driver. So I mostly tell them to get me the same driver, because they used to have a different company, but then it's like, it's two black owned company. They used to have the taxi for the state, but they say they stopped doing it. And this other company, it's owned by a black guy, yeah. And then another one, independent. Both of them is based out of Stanford, Connecticut. But yeah. So it's whoever first pick up the ride. So I guess they send it out in the system, and whoever grabbed the ride, that will be your driver for that day, that company. You don't know who your driver gonna be yet, but the company itself, because the company have several drivers. So the owner of the company will assign the driver, like maybe the day before, you assign the driver. And sometimes the driver who drop you off don't necessarily mean is the driver who pick you back up. So sometimes it's like if they have a different run to do, you just get somebody else. But it's a good thing to have. Any dentist, any doctor's appointment, medical appointment. So if it's a doctor, dentist, eye doctor, your regular doctor, any, you could book that ride. You have to book 48 hours in advance, but guess what? You could book appointments all up to a whole month. All you have to do is call them, tell them, schedule them. So the way how I do it, I write the date, like the name of the appointment, the address of the appointment, and when I call them, I put in their time, their pickup time, because sometimes according to where you're going, they pick you up. So if I usually go for physical therapy in Stanford. So most of the time I book my appointments for 10 o'clock. So the 10 o'clock is for the appointment, and from where I'm living to get to Stanford, it's about a half an hour with less traffic, about 45 minutes. If there's traffic, sometimes they use the back roads and stuff like that. They yoke and the GPS, whatever. So they'll put a pickup time for 9:15. So 9:15 for the pickup to get to a 10 o'clock appointment. Sometimes they come a couple minutes late now. Not all the time they show up on time, because they're dropping off other people before they come to you. So, and then to get to Vail is a long process. When you call Vail, you gotta type in your date of birth, your card number, your this, your that, your that. And then after you don't do all of that, you have to wait like a couple minutes. It could be a minute or 2 minutes, you never know, before somebody actually pick up the phone to talk. Sometimes they have a machine, they have the machine come on and accept this stuff. When you put in the address, make sure you put it in, say, the state, because sometimes in each state, you can have the same address, and you don't even know that. You have to say, wherever state. If you're in Stanford, you have to say Stanford, Connecticut. So sometimes the machine assume you state in New Haven. It's like, okay. It's like, no. But then after the machine talk to you, then a couple minutes after, a person comes on and try to confirm. Because I know one time they messed me up like that. The person didn't come on. It was just the machine. I know when they ask if it's correct, I didn't hear the stuff. And I said, okay, it sounds correct. And the machine just, okay, shut it down. So the day of that appointment now, because that's when I just first start using it. The day of that appointment, they went to, I think, New Haven. Because I say where I'm living, in each state, they have like the same address number, the same street number, whatever. Just have a different state next to it. So the driver went to New Haven, somewhere. So I make sure when I listen, you gotta listen when the machine conforming. When you pause to read them back the stuff for you too, you gotta make sure you listen well and conform. Make sure they put it in the right information because your driver might end up somewhere else. And when I didn't understand it, I used to say, okay, I'm gonna call them back to schedule a pickup. That was the worst thing I ever did. Because guess what? It's the same long process to get to them. I think you could skip a step. You could say, where's my driver? Or something. No. I think that way you still got to call them back. Because if you schedule it, you could click a button and say, where's my driver? And you could get answer quick according to how much people. But you still got to go through that long process, typing in all the information, typing in the CAN number, whatever. So what I usually do is make like an estimated time of when I'm going to finish that appointment. So I say my appointment is 10 o'clock. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to finish whatever I'm doing by 11 o'clock. So my estimated pickup time will be 10:50. Sometimes I say 10:50 or 11 o'clock. According to where I go, I push it out a little further. So you give them an estimated pickup time because you'll be sitting on the phone going through all that step you did just booking the appointments. So you give an estimated pickup time. So if your appointment is 1 o'clock, say, okay, if you know the place is a busy place, say like, okay, 2:15 or 2:30. But if you finish before, you could always call the company and tell them that you're ready for pickup. But you just have a estimated pickup time. But most of the time, I usually have to call them because they're never there for me for pickup. Maybe 1 or 2 times they ever there for me without me calling them because they're busy while they're waiting on you. They're taking care of somebody else. So when I'm finished, if I'm finished a couple minutes before, I'll call them and let them know that I'm ready. And they say, okay, I send the driver out. The driver will be there in a few. Sometimes they're kind of extra late. But sometimes they'll be there like within 10 minutes or so. That's good. So every appointment you make sure you put an estimated pickup time. You say, okay, I'm going to this place. I know how long it takes. So it could be an in and out. Even though it's an in and out appointment, sometimes when you go there, there's a lot of people. And you still got to wait your turn. And sometimes it's different doctors people have to see. But you still got to just use an estimated version. It's okay. It's a 10 o'clock appointment. Pick up this appointment. If it's going to do a mammogram or something like that, a mammogram takes a little longer because you have to go there and you have to take off your clothes. You have to go to the room and there's other people there. You have to wait your turn. You have to go under the machine and do that. So then you stretch the time out a little longer. So you have enough time for pickup because you don't want them to show up before your appointment finish. Because sometimes, according to who the company is, they will tell you they ain't coming back for you. Because that's the time you put for pickup. You know what I'm saying? You put that time and that's the time and they're here. They're not leaving. If they leave, they're not coming back for you. So even though you think you're going to finish 11 o'clock, you just give a couple minutes extra, like 11:20. You ever hear the saying, be safe than sorry? So even though you finish before 11:20, you're still safe because they ain't show up yet. You could still call them and say, but if you tell them, okay, I'm going to be finished 11 o'clock. And 11 o'clock they show up and you still ain't ready yet. And you say, okay, give me 20 more minutes. Half the time they say they can't wait because they have somebody else who's already scheduled to go pick up. So if you have that, you call veil transportation. When you look on the back of your insurance, but they don't use that one on the back of the insurance card. They use a company called veil. I forget what the number for veil is. But you call veil. And as I state, you could book more than one appointment at a time within that month. But in order to get the ride, if you're booking one appointment, you have to make sure you book it 48 hours in advance, not counting in Saturday and Sunday. You're not counting that, just a weekday. And it's according to what time of the day you call too. Because if you call later down in the evening and it runs over to the 48 hours, they will tell you no, it's not that your 48 hours is still up. So you gotta make sure call like early in the morning and stuff like that. So if I have 3-4 appointments, I'm calling in for all of them one time. I have to call in for appointments for my sons. You know, my 18-year-old. Sometimes I go with him. Sometimes I let him go by himself. I have to go with my 10-year-old son. There's always appointment. My 28-year-old. Well, I gave him the number, so he goes by himself to his appointments. So yeah, they're just too much people to deal with. I was like, okay, did I call? It's like you never done appointments. There's always appointment to go to. It's so freaking stressful. It's like, when do I get a break for myself? And you see, because they're underage. And my son just turned 18, so he could go by himself now. So I'm gonna slack off. I'm going with him. But if he go to his appointment, he don't want to come back and tell me, okay, what the doctor say. I know you have appointment. Is it Thursday to go to the hematologist? I think I'm gonna go with him. And I have an appointment after that too. Because if I ask him what the doctor say, he's gonna say, he's not gonna tell me what the doctor say. He might tell me 3-4 days later. But in order for me to know what the doctor's saying, I'm gonna go to the appointment myself with him. So then, do that. Get your transportation. And there's some people say that, oh, they don't like it because they don't book the appointments on time. Whatever. If you want to take the bus, taking the bus is stressful, child. If you're going to have a car, it's like a taxi, but you ain't paying cash. It's covered through the insurance. If you're going to come to your house, even though sometimes you tell them, sometimes the pickup is 9:15 and 9:15 show up and they don't reach. Because if I take in a bus, okay, and I know I have to get an appointment by 10 o'clock, 9:15, I might just be outside taking the bus too. According to how far I have to go, I could be taking the 9 o'clock bus. But the easiest part of this is that you're getting a ride from your door to the appointment's door, and from your appointment, and guess what? You could tell them drop you off at a second location. If you want to go to a second location, they'll drop you off, but they're not going to pick you back up. So today, where I went, he didn't pick me up. I was at Walmart on Route 7. So I was at the doctor's office to do the breast exam. So that was there, but Walmart was, it's about a 5 to 7 minute walk, but because I was walking, so it took a little longer, about 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes or so. I wasn't checking the time because I was walking and stopping and walking and stopping. It's not far. So because I didn't get into the car, if he had picked me up and dropped me over there, then he couldn't have picked me back up again. So when he called me the first time, I had just come out the facility and I told him I had to go do something. The other driver don't do that now. This is a new guy. I don't know if he'll do it again, because when I came out and he see all this stuff I pick up, it's like, he didn't say nothing. He said, go sit down in the car. I got you. I put it in the car for you. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. So, yes. He called me. I was just coming out of Staples. No, the first time he called me, I just come out the facility. And I told him that I need something at Walmart. I'm going to walk over to Walmart. But I didn't tell him I have to go at Staples because Staples came before Walmart. So went into Staples real quick. I got a couple notebooks. Then he called me and he told me he's outside. I say, he's outside Walmart. I say, you know, I didn't even get to Walmart yet. I'm at Staples. Then he pulled up to Staples. When I got outside, I told him that was like about 11:30. He said, I said, I really need to go to Walmart to get something. Huh? He said, I said, would you be able to come back to get me? He said, let me check my schedule and see. So he checked his schedule. He said, you have to go pick up somebody somewhere and bring them back to no, and then whatever. He said, okay, I'll come back for you 12 o'clock. That was about 11:27 or so. So I said, okay. So I run in Walmart. It's like, okay, I gotta go. I think it was about 11:50 something. He called me again and said he's outside. I was just going to the register. I said, I'm at the register. I'm going to be there soon. He said, okay. Then when I get to the register, then is when I see my friend. She was at the other register. She came by and assisted me. So I felt very appreciated today. As I say, I don't know if you're going to do that again, but thank God. Because to get from over there to my house, well, I could not go on the bus with all this stuff I pick up. I pick up a 40 case of water. How the hell am I going to go on the bus with that? I would have to take a taxi. And from over that side to over here to get with a taxi, this is could be about $15. $13 to $15. If I was at the other Walmart to my house, that would be $10. And now they start saying, okay, they start driving a longer route. And some of them starting the machine. They used to wait till you actually get to the car. Now, as soon as they put a bag in the car, they start the machine.